A lot of parents want to help their kids financially, but that's not always the right thing to do.
Right. Yeah. This is one of these videos. There might be a little humor mixed into this one, I'm guessing.
Well, between the two of us, we have 7 children.
We do.
So, but on a serious note, we do have a lot of people say, well, heck, I really want to help my kids out. Maybe the parents are already in retirement, feel like they're doing pretty well, living within their means. And, in today's world, it is a struggle for kids, very difficult to buy a house, etc. A lot of kids, of course, having student loan debt that they're trying to worry about. And the parents, like, gosh, I really want to help them and maybe give those kids 100,000 or plus or minus. See that all the time.
Right.
Why would we not want to see that done?
Well, can you afford to do it? I mean, if it comes at the expense of sacrificing your retirement and your plan, then it's probably something you want to avoid or certainly have a serious conversation around. And some of it is around, is it a need or is it a want? I want to help
I need that new motorboat.
I need the new motorboat, or, I need money because they're in financial trouble versus I want to give them money because they want to buy a house type of thing.
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, if it comes at the expense of your retirement plan, that's not a good scenario.
Right. And that's ultimately what we want to talk to the parents about, that giving money to the kids, there's financial ability, and then there's also emotion that goes along with that. Financially, can you afford, does your plan fall apart if you do give that money? And also, if you got 5 kids, if you're giving money to one kid, you're going to give it, you need to give it to all of them. Maybe at different times. And so again, taking a look at your financial plan, does it make sense? Can you do it? The kids can keep working generally. Most of the time, those parents are either about to retire or in retirement.
Right.
And once you're retired for a couple of years, I'm going to say you're virtually unemployable.
100%, exactly.
So you're not going to be able to go back to work if, heaven forbid, you run out of money.
Right.
So that's not a good time to be giving money to the kids.
Right. Another thing, and I guess it never is short of using this phrase, but setting boundaries. You'd set boundaries when they were little, when they're teenagers, and when they're adults as well. So setting boundaries around what you're willing to do and what you're just not willing to do.
Exactly. And I think, letting those kids grow up, pushing them out of the nest, letting them fly on their own. Kids, you raise them all the same. Depending on how many you have, they're all going to be different. Some of them might be really good with money. Some might be horrible with money. But you got to let them grow up and suffer a little bit on their own. We want to keep them off the streets, but rarely does it ever come to that.
Building character.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You do want to keep them off the streets and certainly keep a roof over their head. But again, if it comes at the expense of your own roof, that's not a good thing, obviously. So, emotional versus financial decisions. Again, it kind of goes back to the want versus need type scenario. But if it's an emotional decision, I want to take a step back from that.
Well, and a lot of us are givers. We want to help people. Certainly here at Macdonald Financial, that we all are that. We want to help people reach their financial goals. And so when we see somebody struggling, we want to try to help them. Especially if it's one of your kids, emotionally, it's that kind of internal, gosh, I really want to help give them a leg up. But we all know kids that were given everything.
Correct.
And turned out not to have good character, and now all of a sudden we call them trust fund babies. Not the kind of kids we want to grow and raise. Yeah, whether it be kids or adults.
Right. Gifting considerations. I mean, that's one way to set boundaries, I suppose, is to do some gifts to the children. I mean, there's limits to what you can do. So
Oh, well,
we touch on that.
Well, right.
That's why I say I didn't do wink, wink, but
So
I'll do
the government has, the IRS has limits on how much money you can gift to anyone. And so, right now, 18,000 per person per year. You can then give more, but potentially give tax,
Yeah.
not for the recipient, but for the giver.
right.
So, those are ways to maybe limit your gifts. Say, gosh, I can't give you any more. Another way to set those boundaries that you were talking about. And, we all want to help our kids be successful, but sometimes that success really comes from them doing it themselves.
Right. Yeah. Another idea, and maybe this will be the last thing that we touch on, is, sustainability of your gifting. If you can do it and want to continue to do it, maybe you set that out there and let them know what you're planning to do. Maybe that takes some of the emotional side of it out. And they don't come to you just in an emergency. You're trying to kind of preempt some of that stuff.
Right. It's part of your financial plan, part of your estate plan. Here's what we're going to do, and
how we're going to do it.
Certainly, we see a lot of grandparents giving money away to kids and or grandkids or great grandkids to watch them enjoy it before they're gone. Right. So a lot of different strategies. Hopefully you learned a couple things from this video, and we'll see you next time.